see. Come on, baby. Got it. We're trying to go live on YouTube, and then we're going to come back over here. Entering custom streaming service. Okay, let me see if this connects. We're connected. There we go.
I
All right,
gotcha.
cool. I'm live. Hey, Kristen. Good girl. Hey, everybody. If you hadn't heard, the NFL is fake. So Bloomberg released a photo um on TV announcing who was going to be singing at halftime and who the two teams were. And we're not there yet, you know what I mean? So um I've always kind of, the last few years I've heard a lot of it's 40, yeah, it's Baltimore and Ravens. That's exactly, and the colors correct. Yeah, thank you, Dr. B. Um I've always kind of, a lot of NFL football players are coming out and talking about that, and saying it's fake. And then there's just some plays where, you got a guy running straight towards a defensive tackle and he takes on the end versus the running back, I mean, just stupid stuff. But it's getting worse. And there's two referees out there that are pretty bad. And it's just amazing that we're there with all this. But normally I don't do Q&As with questions up, but I'm going to allow my favorite living in the private question and answer girl, lady, Mrs. Dr. V, to go ahead and post her question live. What's up, Dr. V?
I don't have a question, Kelly.
Your hand was up. What are you talking about? I have a question.
No, because when I heard you and Kristen talking, I was like, the Super Bowl colors are also Baltimore and 49er colors,
Also,
right?
your hand was up to point down to the comment
Well,
section.
I was trying to say it. it's totally crazy, but
Oh.
the colors of the Super Bowl for 2024 is Baltimore colors and the 49er colors.
So,
Dr. V know what's going on.
That's right.
yes, she does. So listen, if it's true and
Uh-huh.
and the 49ers and Ravens play,
Mhm.
oh crap.
Right.
Okay, I got to make a video about this like right now.
Yeah, but like 6 weeks ago, I noticed that. And I said, if it ends up being the 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens, this thing is like rigged. But what did you see, Kelby? You said you saw something. Bloomberg.
Bloomberg. Hold on.
What happened?
Yeah, let me see it on my phone. I got it on my phone real quick. I took a
Okay.
picture. It was on TV. I'm like, oh snap! No way! No way! I couldn't believe it. So here it is. Hold on, let me turn this screen so it's a little bigger.
Okay.
And oh yeah, there it is. Reba McEntire, Usher, and Post Malone are slated to perform at San Francisco 49ers and Baltimore Ravens Super Bowl matchup February 11th.
Wow. That is crazy.
I'm all snap, 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 snap.
Calvin, I didn't put it up one more time.
Okay. But check it out. Look, on the top left is hold on. Let me get
Because
it in
it
front
keeps
of me.
messing up.
Top left, you'll see Bloomberg. It's not coming in right.
Okay.
Bloomberg. See that?
Uh-huh.
That's January 18th. And then hold on.
Okay.
How's that?
I can't see. It's nothing up there.
What are you doing? You're on your phone,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yep. There it is. Yeah. Okay. I got it.
Can you believe that?
Crazy.
Can you believe that?
Mm.
And
That is unbelievable. It's
we are
so
now officially WWE in football.
mm.
I don't think you're going to be able to see this one, but this is my cat. Oh, shoot.
Let me see.
Shoot. This is my cat. my new one. Snowbird.
Oh, beautiful.
I know, right?
It's so beautiful.
Oh. And this is the one that I'll like kill. I'm like trying to get him off the counter, pull him down, put him down, pick him up, put him down. He gets right back up, I put him back down,
Right.
put him back down. And I'm like, I'm trying not to get angry, and I'm learning calm and hey, no, you're not allowed to get up there. And then finally I got it nailed with the squirt bottle. But this one time, this happened, this happened yesterday. The
Oh,
cat
wow.
went into the corner of the counter and I walked right up and put the thing in his face. And he looked so pitiful. He just squinted his eyes and he's like, I'm not moving. He squinted his eyes and he's like holding strong and just like hit it, go for it. I'm gonna, and I felt so bad I couldn't squirt him. So I'm teaching discipline
He's
here.
getting used to the camera.
Yeah. So Dr. B, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm just listening tonight.
Any comments?
No, just I'm just looking forward to learning more.
Okay, so Dr. B, question for you.
Yeah,
You faithfully come on these Q&As.
yeah,
You've been living in the private over a year, I'm guessing,
yeah. It's probably more than that because I
and
listened to you for about a year first.
and you're out
Yeah, yeah.
and you're free
I'm totally free.
and you're still
And,
stuck.
and if anybody harms me, I know what to do.
Nice. All right.
Torts, torts.
Right.
Private law, private law.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's honestly it's a delight because you were always on these Q&As and you're always asking good questions and you're bringing people to become free themselves. And this is a real deal. And a lot of people don't get how real it is. And,
Yeah,
we're taking on a lot of new clients right now and they all have the same questions. But what's crazy is it's more mainstream. We're moving away from um the long hair, driver's license burning up in a mountain in a tent,
hmm
you know, rebellious, sovereign citizenish, kind of a personality, fighting everything and
right,
winning nothing kind of a thing.
right, exactly.
And that's the mentality that doesn't work in this game. It's
Right.
and so no, I appreciate you being on again. And if you ever
No,
hold
we love
your hand again, I'm
the
gonna put you on the spot again.
private call was amazing.
Say that again.
The private call we had, that was amazing.
Oh yeah, this week, yeah.
Yeah, I sent you a lot of stuff. I don't know if you got it yet.
Not yet. Did you email it?
Yeah, well, I sent it. Kristen, did you get it, Kristen? Is she here?
She should be.
I sent it to her.
She's kind of mentally checked out, you know what I mean? We got to help her.
I like her.
I like her a lot.
She's good people.
Cool. She's
and,
always,
and I love Rob, so it's perfect.
yeah, it is. It's perfect.
You gotta
Rob is a very hard worker. We're trying to, because them as a couple, it's kind of cute. I'm trying to
you
get
have
her.
an A team right there. A
Yeah, oh yeah,
team.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to get her. He doesn't give her access to the Amazon account, so she can't order anything she wants. And I'm like, so I'm causing fights between them. I'm like,
I know.
Kristen, you need to have access. You need to have the passwords. You need to be able to
Right.
order whenever you want. Anyway, Dr. B, thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Love
Kelby,
you.
Kelby told me today to spread my wings and be a butterfly.
That's
Hey,
right. He told you right, Kristen.
well,
Did
I
you
said
get
it.
the
I said it a
information?
lot more manly than that, Kristen.
Hey, but what
Kristen.
Kelby doesn't know that Rob's listening.
Yeah,
Well, Rob, you know you're my guy.
yeah. That's funny. Who invited Rob to this, man? I didn't. What's going on? I got all flush. Wow, Rob. Oh no, he heard me.
Rob, did you get the information I sent you guys to give to Kelby?
In the morning.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Okay,
All
cool.
right. All right.
I'll check it out,
Dr.
Dr. V. I'll get back to you
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay, all right, bye.
All right, bye. All right, so that's an example of a happy customer, a happy member who has been through our whole platform. And she's a doctor. She's out here on the West Coast. She has famous friends, and she's working with us to be free. And she is one of those that validates and verifies and looks into the law and the structure and goes beyond the normal to try to figure things out. So it's kind of nice. That's why we make the existing living and the private members come to this, just to get questions out as they're going through the program. So in case they're not able to get their question clearly defined on the ticket, which we all know back office, Rob sometimes has problems clarifying what he's trying to say. I'm just kidding. Rob is a stellar. He does really good work in the back office, and I'm giving him a hard time right now for no reason. But no, sometimes you just can't read on a ticket and get your questions that you really want answered. So we make this available for the existing living in the private. And we also go live on YouTube and invite new people. But long story short, it's an exciting time that we're in, and with all the different plans and stuff that they're trying to do across the world. It's kind of some of the stuff I want to talk about tonight. Hopefully we get to the VIP show. Because they're firing back at Davos, they're firing back at the WHO, they're firing back, and the people are pissed. And I don't know if it's part of the show. I don't know if it's, and so we got to kind of look at it all as one big act, pulling us in, because this is all they do. They take one little inch, and then the next year they take another inch, and then they go way for it, like COVID, and take away a ton of rights, ton of this, ton of that. And then you get back just a little bit and you're like, but they're a half a mile further in their plan than they were before. And that's their game they're playing. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And, there's an interesting movie, and it's a sad movie. Um, it's called Ordinary Men on Netflix. And I want people to understand what is at play and what evil is and how close we are to those times. We're in them. But when I say close, it's like they are plotting things that the layman just wouldn't believe. And 3 years ago would say, you're crazy. And now there's legislation that's in America or United States that's aligning with these world order objectives. And these world order objectives are to have you chipped, marked, locked up, put down. In my opinion, they're eradicating the free thinker, the free, that kind of person off the face of the earth. They're going to make an attempt. And unfortunately, we only hear the negative side. Unfortunately, we only hear the stuff that sounds so bad and so rough. And you know what? I'm just absolutely at this point where I know what's happening. I know who's winning. I know who's won, and I'm not playing the game. And so I just want to be that kind of quarterback and helping people through the game, listening at what moves to make. And number one, we don't want to be in that system when they come collecting, on the debt. This is a debt. This is a world of debtors and creditors. There's nothing else. And I'm not defining, I'm talking about the financial system itself. And the people are either a debtor or a creditor. And the people are pledged against the debt of the United States here in this country. If you're a United States citizen, you're an employee with that Social Security, you're a debtor, you're the surety and the collateral against the debt of the United States. China is coming to collect. They have created structures and systems, their chips, their nanoparticulate technologies that are floating around in your bloodstream, And these chips are going to work with this nanoparticulate technology to assign you through your phone job tasks. And that's really where they want to go. They want to create the China for the whole world. And the WHO and Davos and all these world leaders are in bed with China, period. And there's a new money system coming. And people want to believe that there's this great reset that's positive, and Trump is going to lead it and be the free leader of the world. And then you got this world order structure over here, and we're getting played on every which way. And it's like, I just want to be free. I just want to be left alone. I don't care about all that stuff. I want to first, because I'm a Christian, because I'm a believer, I want to be honorable before God. And I look at the United States as kind of like the thug of thugs. You know, they have this way about putting words on people, like terrorists, for example. And they have legislation that they're passing pertaining to terrorists, pertaining. And God forbid, man, if you're a terrorist, you should go to prison, right? You know what I'm saying? You should. But the classifications of who they are watching for these terrorists are conservative Christians, people that buy Bibles, meaning if you say you're going to buy a Bible, you're going to go on a watch list. If you talk about church, you're going to go on a watch list. If you spread the gospel, you're going to go on a watch list. And the element of training the toddlers through the transgender community, the LGBTQ community, the public shul system, and I say it that way on purpose. It's starting to become amazing to me that we're like, a guy said something, and it's a big meme, or it's a big comic going through the internet right now. And he said, "When do we get to use the guns? Because we know it exists in law. We know it's there for tyranny. When do we get to use them?" And he was very serious. And I'm like, that's a really good question. You know, and you start breaking down these things that we have here in this nation, and you start looking at like the Declaration of Independence. Those founders would have been defined as terrorists, right? Do you know the FBI teaches that the founders of this nation were terrorists instead of teaching heroes? Teaches that people that believe in sovereignty as a people are sovereign citizens, and they're terrorists. Forget about forget about Chicago gangs, forget about, LA street gangs, MS-13, forget about, the Mexican mafia, forget about all those guys, the terrorists. Those guys aren't terrorists. Those are confused. Give them a free pass to come over into our country. Let's get them a cell phone. Let's hook these guys up, because they're not terrorists. But that elderly woman in a wheelchair trying to go through Homeland Security at an airport, she's getting frisked up, frisked down, her wheelchair's turned over. She's got to stand up shaking because they're going to do a full body inspection because she's traveling from Arizona to New York as a U.S. citizen within her own country. So we treat people with total disrespect. Our elderly, our women, our children, men flying around the world through these people called Homeland Security who have no respect at all for people. And I mean that. I mean, every time I've had a run in, for the most part, 90% of the time, it's always some jacked up control freak who think he can tell me what to do and stand where I'm supposed to stand. Or they're going to have 10 guys around me and try to scare me, and, ooh, I'm shaking. What is the world getting to? I just want to be private like you guys, right? Well, there's coming a time, and they know it. They know that the guns are here. They know the people have have been pissed off. The question is what is the move? What's the play? And that guy had a very valid question. When do we get to use the guns? And he went so far as to say, and kill these tyrannical B words. Think about that. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's brave. That's brave. You know why? Because he is speaking his mind. And you know what? Is he violating the law? No. Because everything that corporation is saying about the people that are standing up for other people, are standing up for protecting their homes, sealing off of a border from 7 million middle-aged men coming over here, sending our troops around the world so America can be attacked. And trust me, they're going to do it this year. This is the election year. They're going to do it. And we have to be thinking in advance, what do we do? But that corporation masquerading as a nation right now, and I don't even think the corporation is really in charge anymore. I think it's more or less just the echelon, the power structure, and some guy in a mask named Biden. And I mean what I just said, and I'm pretty good with being able to look at different pictures of Biden and seeing earlobes in some of them, moving mass parts in the back of his neck, inability to communicate, inability to be coherent, inability to. I've seen enough to understand either he is severely demented, has dementia, or we're just seeing a total act and they're just doing it to piss us off to see what they can string us along with. And hopefully somebody will respond and attack. Guys, look, I don't know what to tell you with all that stuff. I know that I want to be left alone. I know that I want to be free. I'm tired of the politics. I'm tired of being told, you can or you cannot do certain things. I'm in the United States of America. I am self-governed. So long as I hurt nobody, so long as I steal from nobody, murder nobody, I am a free and independent child of the Most High God. I can do whatever I want. And that includes driving. Even if I wanted to without a license that's under Title 18 in their own code, there's no requirement to have a driver's license. I know I'm freaking a lot of people out. Calm down, everybody. There is no requirement under their own code to have a license to travel. Now, do they teach law enforcement that? No. But what do? They sell us these ideologies that, hey, driving is the best thing in the world, and you're going to have a license, you're going to have your picture on it, and you're going to be able to travel and go to the bank and cash checks and do all these mature adult things, and you're gonna say this is the coolest thing in the world. And as a kid, you're going to fight for it. I remember that, man. I remember getting my permanent piece of paper. I looked at it for 30 hours straight. 15, 16 years old, whatever I was. And we're sold that it's a privilege, and it's not. It's an inherent God-given unalienable right supported by man's law. Does that mean I want to get pulled out of the car by my dreadlocks, facing law enforcement every time I get pulled over? Or do I want to be arrested when my kids are in the car? No, I don't want to play those games. So you have to learn what you're dealing with in these contracts and in these adhesion trusts. And that's what a driver's license is. It's an adhesion trust. And that's what a Social Security application is. It's an adhesion trust. And that's what a voter's is. It's an adhesion trust. And I coined this word 2 or 3 years ago. Those words, adhesion trust. And when you start to think about it, you're the one that executed it. They're the grantor, they're the beneficiary. Just look at the form, look at the name, state of California on the top, look at the back. You do anything wrong, they receive the benefits, they are the beneficiary, and you're self-executing this adhesion trust that nobody countersigns or agrees upon. And then they give you this piece of plastic, and you've given your life away. And what's upsetting to me is there's so many people that think it doesn't matter. And you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to be obedient to a tyrannical government. Just read Romans 13, having that all backwards. I'm not supposed to be obedient to an ungodly, unholy government, number one. Number two, I am the government. They are not the government. I am the government. They serve me. I don't serve them. I'm a State of the Union citizen. Even as a United States citizen, the perception is they should serve me. I shouldn't serve them. That's the oath they take to uphold, support, protect, and defend the Constitution for the United States of America. What does that say? They serve me. I don't serve them. Means if I wanted to walk down the street with a concealed firearm or a concealed weapon, I could. As it means if I wanted to have free speech anywhere out in the public, I can. It means if I want to take photos of any building anywhere, I can. If I want to take photos of photos and videos of law enforcement, I can. You gotta mute yourself, Dr. V. That means if I want to have freedom at any time, anywhere, anyhow, I can. That's the nation we live in. And what's being sold to us, not just by us, but by our churches, is that we are to be obedient to the most tyrannical form of government that's ever existed on the face of the earth. Listen, guys, I don't think you understand. I'm not going to say how. People are dying by the millions worldwide. Unknown cause. Really? Not saying it. That's what they're saying. People have these worms throughout their entire body that blocking all their arteries. People are dying of heart disease. If you had cancer before, it's coming back harder than ever. It's crushing the immune systems. Things are going on in this world, and it's being funded by you, the taxpayer. That means your dollar is going to a contribution to kill somebody. Am I being a little rough for you? That's what it means. Every dime you put in, you are guilty of participating in this fraudulent scheme against the world. Calling it. It's true, right? How could you say you're not? I'm just doing my job. I'm paying my taxes. I'm a good citizen. Are you really? 3.8 trillion last year is not accounted for by the Pentagon. Who handled the massive output of Operation Warp Speed under Trump and then Biden? Where did all that go? Do you know what $3.8 trillion looks like in $100 bills on, pallets in a warehouse? It's ridiculous. To lose a trillion, to lose a billion, how about a million? Yet when you lose 2 or 3,000 bucks, they're going to break your front door and SWAT team your butt and arrest you. Where's my tax money? This is tyrannical. This isn't they're not operating by their own playbooks anymore, guys. Do you know it's in their own playbook? They can't garnish, lean on something, take your money unless you're an employee of the United States. That's right in the IRS code. Did you know in the IRS code there's a revocation of election allowing for you to revoke the election to pay taxes? I know people don't know this stuff. And after I found these things out and found out about state citizenship, I went wacko, thinking I was Moses. That's how I look at it now, trying to free the people. I need my staff. Somebody give me a staff. That's where we're at, man. So I'm going to ask some questions for some people. I'm going to go through the Q&A and I'm going to record and turn off after each question because I like to post the questions later. individually, but these are obviously being recorded on um, YouTube as well. But first question is, at this time, we have investments in 401k and IRA. Many of the investment companies are pure evil, and I'm struggling to have peace with investing in these companies to receive financial gain in return. What does it mean to come out of Babylon lest we partake in her judgment? That's a whole conversation. So I'll answer that at another time. We buy things from Walmart, and I'm pretty sure they are not pure in heart company. Where do we draw the line? I get it. Do you invest in the stock market? No. Are there better options of investing? Yes. Thank you for your time. All right. So Sheila, first question for you is, we have investments in 401k. Now, look, I am not a stockbroker, stock trader. We are 15 years into and 5 years over a normal cycle for an absolute crashing of a market. There's never been a time bigger than the one that we are in right now. It's called the trifecta. The bonds, the stock, and the real estate markets are absolutely going to crash. Now, on that note, with complete knowledge that everything is pumped up and held up and manipulated and managed, I do want to say for them to take over this nation, they need to figure out a way to deplete the funds from the people, revalue the currency system so they can get into new Fed dollar, make it so that everybody has to join that through some system of either getting chipped or whatever, and we'll figure that out when it comes. But they're going to hair clip the retirement accounts, and it's been long discussed and long on the law books in many different states. At the minimum, I haven't checked the Fed, but where if you go and you read your own signature card at the bank, if something happens to that financial institution, you're immediately a stockholder in the bank, and that's it. You're not going to get a set of digits back on an account in return for the losses of your digits that you had in your account. I've been advising people as a layman. At one time, I was a financial advisor with license, and I gave that up 25 years ago. But I would advise anybody to ditch their 401ks, their IRAs, their retirements, and I don't care what the cost is. People think a 20-30% hit, whatever it may be right now, is detrimental. I want you to think that tax hit right now comparative to the biggest opportunity ever in a financial market, or compared to a complete stripping of your account or your funds, or a hair clipping of your account. At least with the funds in hands, you have an opportunity to go into the crypto markets or real estate markets after the crash and do some real damage. But if you are liquid in capital, cash, or not in hand, but cash in an account, or you have retirement accounts, you better dang well know you're probably going to take a massive hit on those accounts in short order. They're going to do a theft of funds, in my opinion. It's just been something talked about by them. I've watched them do it in other countries, and they've been hair clipping and testing, and Cyprus is one example. And so you have to think, what are they going to do here? This is the nation that has to fall. Guns and cash, and control the narrative. The media, shush the opposition, do Germany style tactics, whatever. So those are the three things. And put people in a position where they have to stand in a line or go into a FEMA camp to eat. That's the way you win. It could be an extended blackout. It could be an extended, or it could be an EMP attack. It could be an alien invasion. It could be all kinds of stupid things, because those are all on the board with the things in which they have been promoting to us via Netflix and everything else for the last 10 years, 15 years. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm ready for it, I think. But my point is if it were me, I would cash out a 401k. I would invest seriously in gold and silver and certain cryptos, and I'd put the crypto on hard wallets and put the hard wallet into a Faraday bag and into a waterproof bag, and I would hide it. And I would take the 20 words and I would not scan them or copy them, and I'd put them in a safe somewhere that's not in your house that you can have access to, period. So by doing that, the entire financial system is going to convert from fiat worldwide. This is not me saying this. This is the world saying this. This is every bank saying this. Every central bank is saying this. We are moving into a digital central bank system. Even if Trump doesn't want it, he doesn't have the power to stop it. Okay. And by the way, I'm not sure he doesn't want it. But the point being, cash is going to go, and everybody will have a central bank digital currency, CBDC. And those banks and those digital currencies are going to have to move around the world and go on devices and go on computers and go on you. And so for you to earn money as a layman, they're going to have to get rid of hard wallets. They're going to have to get rid of ways for you to get online to an exchange-based account where you can't get online without a phone authentication, which verifies a chip authentication, which verifies whatever. These are real things, and they're not 10 years down the road. They're 2, 1. The goal, and they've already put this out, is every bank will be flipped to a central bank digital currency by 2026. And they want everybody chipped by then. It's 2 years. So that means this year has got to be the hardest year we've ever faced. And it happens to be an election year. You think this is going to be an easy year? What are they coming out with right now? They've already predicted a new variant that is 100% death rate called Disease X. They've already figured out this disease, man-made disease in a Chinese lab. They've already, and now they're promoting this disease to cause fear in the world. And you know what? It should cause fear. And they said it's going to have a respiratory and this. I've never seen a disease that, calls itself out, announces itself before it actually mutates. Have you guys? I'm not that smart, but I've never seen a disease say, hey, this is who we are. You should name us this. We kill 100% of everything we touch. And no, we weren't grown in a lab, but it's going to be big. You better call it out. You better give us a name. No, you haven't seen this. These are all predictive things, predictive programming, a part of the scam. It is a scam, guys. And regular people are not believing this anymore. The doctors, the nurses, and it's unfortunate that there's many doctors that are still a party to the system and still believing that what they did was holy and above reproach, and it's not. They're a party to an evil system, and they need to correct that, and it needs to change. So we need to think about these things. But Sheila, get the heck out of those systems. After things change and the markets collapse, if you're going to be investing in anything, I'll be looking at FAZ, F-A-Z. Wells Fargo owns the biggest chunk of that, and it hedges on a downward spiral of the market. And in 2008, it was like $15. And in 2012, it was 250,000, something like that. Now it's back to, because it's split and it's split and it's split and it's split and it's split, now it's back to whatever, 15, $20. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a long time. But bet against the downward spirals. Do, if you're that smart with the stock market. But I don't bet against the stock market. I look at long-term plays. I look at hard assets that I can hold, feel, and touch. And you can kind of feel and touch and hold a hard wallet with some digital currency on it. And they wouldn't be developing these hard wallets on a worldwide basis if they weren't protecting even their own assets themselves. And everything that they're doing, they're trying to force people away from the cryptocurrencies and all this stuff. And they're trying to get people to think that they're bad. And I'm telling you right now, everybody should be considering converting their assets right now before it happens and before it's too late. So that's my answer on your 401k and your IRA. Where do you draw the line? I don't shop at Walmart anymore. Um, but I do shop at Amazon, man, and I don't know where to draw the line. You know, I can't make underwear. I can't make this shirt, you know. There's things that I do have to buy, and it's unfortunate that you buy from the powers that are bringing this against you. I have been starting to go direct and to the stores or to the manufacturers to purchase versus Amazon per se. Unfortunately, there's this whole thing of ease. I wish somebody would create a website that had all your stores online that were local to you, and I would just buy from them and have them shipped directly to where my mailbox is. But anyway, I hope that super long answer. Um, Let me go to the Q&A. Give me a second. When assigning a beneficiary to a life insurance policy, should I use my foundation or my wife's name, who is the managing director of the foundation? First, can you use a foundation to be the beneficial interest in a life insurance policy? Number one. Number two, if you just had your wife's name, it would be sufficient because the tax benefit or insurance benefit, the insurance policy amount is going to come to her tax free anyway, and she can then control it and donate it directly to the foundation, or at least wield it. Like she can take that check directly, or initiate a wire as the receiving interest to the foundation herself. And then what you do in the foundation is you write, you know, a single page document, no different than a will, but you can just, you know, it's an operating agreement of the foundation between the managing and the executive directors, that you will do this if this happens, and do that if this happens. And I do want to say, because this is an important question, you're talking about a life or a will or an estate kind of a question. Mike, if I were you, whenever you do this operating agreement within the foundation, get two witnesses and a notary. I saw something the other day where somebody had a notarized will, and the wife of 1 year contested the will. And in Florida, there's a statute that allows for her to contest it because he didn't have a witness to the will. And you need to have at least one witness and the notary. And she stole his kids' funds and only had been married to him for 1 year. His entire retirement and house and all the assets because he didn't dot his I's and cross his T's. So they do a witness, two people, where they sign a initial their names and or print their names and do a date and do a notary on that operating agreement within the foundation, and that should take care of business for you. It's funny what teaches us things, huh? My wife wants a divorce. Can I quit claim our house into the trust? She has never paid a dime on the mortgage. I sold my first house without her name on it on the deed and used the proceeds to buy out the current house, and the deed has her name on it. So there's, I get it. Your wife wants a divorce. I can't, if she's currently on the deed, you're not going to be able to get the quit claim done. Number one. Number two, what you're saying is could be construed. I don't know how long you've been married. I understand she hasn't put a dime on anything. And I know that you put your cash in from the first house to put the down payment or whatever on that house. Those are considerations for the judge. I would ask a ton of questions, John. I would be like, how long you been married? Do you have any kids in a relationship? Is it over 10 years? Kind of a thing. Um, I'd ask some serious questions, and I never want to answer questions to help somebody where it might be unfair to the other spouse. But sometimes there are circumstances that need to be addressed, like the cash that came in from the other house prior to the marriage, kind of a thing. So I have a lot more questions than I do in my ability to give you a clear answer, and I hope you respect that. What about the retirement, Social Security? Would that be confiscated? What about Medicare? I'm a naturalized American. I was born in France. We have helped hundreds of naturalized citizens convert to state citizenship. Number one. Number two, your Social Security, even though if construed as a benefit and tax currently by the United States, is construed by this person as sweat equity. Um, because that's how it was done when I was a kid. That was the promise, and they flipped it on me without my permission. You can't just steal people's funds without their permission. I know they think you can, but you can't. And so we just do the application a little bit different when it comes time for the retirement, and we put the money direct deposit into a foundation account. Medicare, you can still get it. It's not really you that has it. It's the U.S. citizen, which is the birth certificate. There's going to be certain things that you would have to do to apply for and retain your rights. Personally, we have insurance without a social that is just as good, a little more costly in some respects, a little less costly in other respects, but private and don't grant jurisdiction. And so that's a consideration. Oh, I didn't even record that one. When we move our home and our auto into the foundation name, is it correct that we will need a commercial insurance policy on the name in the name of the foundation? No, George. Again, you can keep the insurance policy, meaning the insured being the name, the all caps name, but you make the beneficial interest the lost payee the foundation. You don't need a commercial insurance policy. It's way more expensive. You can go to AAA being one. AAA is kind of expensive too, but they're good and they cover everything. And where you have the vehicle in the name of the foundation, and that way you're covered in the event somebody wants to come and try to sue. They're not going to be able to sue you. I mean, they can sue you as a driver, but you're protecting your assets by placing these types of things, autos, houses, you're protecting them. And a foundation cannot get pulled into court. And so the assets of the foundation cannot get pulled into court. I know there's people that may have tried in the past, um, but I have, after doing thousands and thousands of these, I've never seen it done successfully where they had jurisdiction over the foundation. Never. So, you do not need to have a blanket commercial policy to have insurance coverage for your vehicle. I got a car registration renewal about a month ago, driver's license renewal coming up in 2 to 3 months, and I'm wondering if I should do those before I proceed with my living in the private. I only barely got started. I have my foundation so far. What does the car registration or your license renewal have anything to do with it? We'll teach you. Ask Rob how to sign the license and the registration renewal. It's just contracts, and all you're doing is doing reservations and turning them back in. That's it. So shouldn't slow down or stop anything you're doing with the living in the private program. You mentioned in a video about buying land in northern New York. Was that an older video? Did the land get purchased, and was it planned for the land in regards to HISAdvocates? Is it for building homes for private living citizens like a community? Um, it was a deal I did with my best friend a long time ago, and it was 250 acres. It was acquired. Um, and it was a famous town. There's a ton of buildings on it. Right next to Erie Creek Canal passes right through it. The town is in Rome, or the town is Rome. right next to the Canadian border. And this particular piece of property has Fort Bull on it. The fort blew up. It's very famous. Washington stood on this property. There's a saloon, there's old houses, there's cheese factory, all kinds of stuff. The land is just maintained. Um, there isn't anything I've done or touched or been a part of it in the last 4 years. My my partner on that deal is still, I'm guessing, active with it, but hope that answers your questions. Things come and go, and we just, move in and out of deals or whatever. But that had a lot of problems with the town folk, allowing for things to happen because of the site itself. It's kind of um, it's really a site that'll never be replaced because of what happened there, and they want to preserve it. And so it's a neat site. But no, I would love to eventually have a spot like that where we can allow for people to commune and set up, where you do have patent rights, where you do have, and anybody can build out or put anything on it, and we can care for each other and have community. Can a foundation be sued if you injure someone while driving an auto in the foundation name? I would say no, there's no jurisdiction, there's no process serving agent. They could try, but it could be rebutted pretty easily. I do have the NA autograph on my license, and they stopped me recently, but it was a good reason. My lights and brakes for the trailer were not working. They asked me for my license, but let me go without any paperwork at all. I fixed the problem the next day, and business open. Good job. Not really a question there. How does an apprentice electrician navigate going into the private when they need to be an employee and also need to test and obtain multiple state licenses? Okay, so I hold a state license in my wallet. I'm not the actual licensed party. My birth certificate is. I did take the test. I do have to do the renewals. Um, it is a California state broker's license. I have to go do some more testing to renew my 50 hours, of which I didn't get done on time last month, but that's easy. I'll have it done by this month. But my point is I'm not concerned about whether I have a license or not. I'm concerned about how I contract. So to answer your question, navigating through an electrician, you said one thing: when I have to be an employee, I know you as an apprentice think you need to be an employee. A lot of these guys would love to pay your foundation directly and avoid all kinds of taxes and stuff like that. So consider that at the very least for yourself. If you have to be an employee, that's not going to hurt your ability to be a state of the union citizen, because you're revoking your election to pay taxes, you're revoking your status, you're doing a whole lot of things. And so that check may look a lot different after you're done as an employee versus before. Um, but the navigation of how to do it right is contract law, and reserving your rights. And trust me, it is so important to reserve your rights. They look at everything in life, at these adhesion trusts that they've done, as how they are able to gain access over the people. It's because people are elected to be employees, which means you have to go by the statute, code, and ordinances, the policies, if you will, or the policy enforcement officer is going to come after you and arrest you. And that's really what it is. But don't worry about structure. If you need help, let us know. Just ask questions. And ask precise questions like what you can do. Like, I just tell whoever I was working for, look, pay my foundation directly and teach me, and be that apprentice. And if they say no, who cares? Just keep going as the employee, and when you're done, you can do all kinds of things with a W-8 BEN, or you can do a revised W-4T, or you can just do a W-4 with a full reservation and non-assumption. There's no particular forms. It's how you contract. And so hope that helps. Have you worked with anyone to obtain a second citizenship in another country? Is it possible for if you are in the private? Okay. Yeah. Well, not necessarily in another country, but getting a world passport. Some people have had issues getting a passport here in this nation. We've helped them by getting a world passport, and they then go and fly around the world without, worry or what have you. Anywhere a United States passport, generally a world passport will go. Um, but to answer your question about having citizenship in another country, be careful because all citizenships in every country are really done under a corporation, and all those jurisdictions will fall back into a pledge under the Securities and Exchange Commission. What do I mean by that? I mean, when you are have a birth certificate in Australia, go look Australia Republic. Australia Republic is registered in the Securities and Exchange Commission under Washington, D.C., and every birth certificate in Australia is traded under the Securities and Exchange in Washington, D.C., under the umbrella of the United States. So when we talk about Babylon and we talk about, these structures, going into another country to get another citizenship, you got to be careful. I'm sure there's a couple private countries out there still. I'm sure a lot of these upper echelon, power hungry guys, I'm sure those guys have figured out how to, keep themselves private and to some degree, but I think they're using different elements right now to do it than we are. But I'll be very careful about the country you choose and pick because I got people saying, I'm going to go down to Mexico, I'm going to get my Mexican residence, and in 5 years I get guaranteed citizenship or whatever. And I'm like, be careful. Then, why would you want that when you can have this? It's completely private, it's under God, there is no jurisdiction over you whatsoever. And they have to honor that. One of the things I'm just going to say, guys, for the record, we just get left alone. I mean, we are honorable men and women too, but we just get left alone. And it's because of the way that we approach that final phase within the living in the private. We do all of our new contracts for the adhesion trust that they have. We do the Department of State. We restructure the United States Post Office, the holding the office of the person, no longer trustee in any of these positions, beneficial interest in all of these positions. And we put it behind an active state, get it published, put it into the public, and then we serve them constructive notice with a copy of a fee schedule. I'd leave us alone too. They have no rights to come after the people once they've created a proper court of record to come out. And that's what we do. And so when people are going through the living in the private, it's a very, very powerful tool. And it's exciting to be able to help people and to know that they are coming out and being in the private. So when you talk about Babylon, well, there's only one nation in the whole world. And I can get into Rev 16, 17, 18, where it really discusses Babylon. And I can show you the difference of Babylon and the whore, meaning the whore Babylon. And I can show you the difference of the whore and, the beast. And I can keep showing you in the scripture where it all lines up with what the United States Corporation is and has done. And so every single country in the world is structured to come under the United States and the Securities and Exchange. And kings and princes, just like the Bible said, made deals for themselves and placated their people under the jurisdiction of the whore. It's crazy. It's crazy how the Bible's come to life in ways that we never really realized. And for all you Bible haters, calm down. We love you. I love you. I'm just kidding. I don't mean to piss you off or anything. Intently or intentional. My heart is to help people, but sometimes it's a struggle, man. This is not easy. Everybody's different. Everybody's got a different problem. Everybody's got multiple companies, multiple investment accounts, retirement accounts, and there's a lot of work that needs to be done on a lot of different people. So anyway, uh, next question. What about money? Should we keep cash in the bank? I can only tell you what I do. I just try to take as much out and convert it into hard assets as quick as possible. I don't want to leave cash in the bank. It's worthless, and I'm worried they're going to take it. So, of course, as a secured party creditor, why is the process to sign up for it? What is the process to sign up for a new vehicle? Um, Forrest, at one time I was an SBC and I removed my signature from all of that. I'm not saying it's not a helpful thing for some people, but it's kind of leading people to the same conclusion without the protections of the Supreme Court um, that we have for being a state of the union citizen. Again, for people that don't know, SPC, secured party creditor, it's a series of documentation through the UCC that people are doing to move from the debtor side of the ledger to the creditor side of the ledger and making themselves the primary creditor over the birth certificate. So there is some absolute benefit and value there, except you are leaving on the table all the other stuff of sovereignty under God as a state citizen. So, but specific to your question, um, there's nothing you need to worry about. Just go buy a car. If you're going to use the social, go test it out, see what people are willing to give you. I know what you've been through. Um, but what kind of vehicle are you trying to buy? How much? And most any shop will give you, hard money, whatever type transactions, and just work your butt off to pay off that loan as fast as possible. And you don't even need to use a social in a lot of cases. There are people out there that have. I've got a friend you can call right now, and unfortunately, the payments are high, but you can have a car. Those are things that are available, but there's no difference in an SPC or a state citizen. You just all contract law. You just, as a state citizen, I wouldn't be using credit to buy a car. Just that's my personal feelings. I feel like I'm enriching the bank when I do, and that's why I don't. So, which is a whole nother story that I've told on many other occasions. When people just um, let me just answer this secondarily. Hold on. When people are doing a note or swiping a credit card, the banks are getting prepaid on all that stuff. The banks are taking your car note, your house note, they're flipping it over, they're cashing it. And and there's a whole lot more that they do with the house note. But the bottom line is it's not good. And you're enriching the banks because they get prepaid on all that. And then you're paying them again. And then they take those notes and they put them on 32-pound watermark banknote paper and CUSIP them and create a security and slice them up into tranches and sell the crud out of these and then do insurance default swaps on them. And these guys are insuring everything, selling everything, and they're making 50 times on your face value of that note, literally. So why do you want to enrich banks by getting a loan? That's my question, because they're part of the whore. They're the ones that are funding the whore and telling the whore what to do because the whore is in bankruptcy. And so that's kind of how I look at things. And um, I would love to have that conversation with a bunch of pastors to talk it through so that everybody can understand my position at the very least of why I believe what I believe about what is the whore. Ronna has a question. Do you think that there'll be currency trading after gold back QFFs take effect once there is a level playing field of currencies? That's presumptuous. And I hope you're right. There will be trading of currencies, not only physical, but digitally. Back in the day in 1995, we had smart card technologies going in, one reader, one smart card going in on one side, meaning your bank card, and another one going in here. And we were able to exchange dollar for dollar through this little device and not an ATM. And then the next time you go and put that card into an ATM, it resolves the transaction. And so, yeah, I think that there's, let me see, when is the computer electronic show? No, it's this month, I think. Computer electronic show. When is it? Most recent January 9th, 12 days ago. I missed it. Sucks. I totally wanted to go and I totally forgot. So at the CES show, there's all kinds of tech that is always given out in relation to this kind of stuff, and the technologies wherever they're developing something to kind of wind people up into a ball and try to take their rights away. There's guys over there creating side technologies that allow people to do passive income right on hard wallet to hard wallet. So I wouldn't worry about it that much. Don't get me wrong. I think they're going to try to hide the crap out of it, but it's still going to be available. Best way to hold, operate a construction company in the public or private, I need to maintain GL and auto insurance in the company foundation. If private name, best way to hold or operate a. So a lot of times people don't want to change their construction names or what have you. And by the way, this is structures that have been long decided before me, where they're playing LLCs, C corps, S corps, and tying them together with private trusts or foundations on the back end. So this isn't something that's unique. What I would do if I had a construction company with a license and I had that requirement, um, there's a couple different points to consider. You can use the license, you create the contract in the private directly with the foundation. And sometimes that's done with not even, I know the word sleight of hand is, it sounds almost like you're doing something wrong, but you're not. On your invoice, the construction company is a wholly owned subsidiary of XYZ Foundation. On your check, construction company is a wholly owned subsidiary of XYZ Foundation. So there's all kinds of different ways. It's not a conversation that can be answered right now. It depends on a lot of questions I have for you, but you can either drain the corp and fund the foundation and deduct that through the corp, or you can contract directly with the customer. They pay the foundation directly and see that on the uh, and not necessarily, doing business at all with the LLC or the S corp, but doing business directly with the foundation, and you have them sign a private workers agreement for the foundation between the foundation and them directly. There's a whole lot of people doing a whole lot of different things, so it depends really more on what your needs are. But those are some of the answers I can give you off the spot. We just bought a new vehicle outright and we hold the certificate of origin. We would like to put the car in the foundation. We don't know how to get tags without actually registering the vehicle and giving up the MSO, which we do not want to. What are your options? You've already named all your options, Justin. I've had an MSO for years. I'm not letting go of it. I'm not registering it. Um, there's a couple different people out there and there's states that have options as well, where you can insure the vehicle, bond the vehicle. And I'm not down this road. I've seen people's work. I have not done this for people at this time, but I was just made aware that there's a couple states that say you can put up 40,000 in cash, or you can have a $40,000 bond, and in lieu of an insurance policy to where you're self-insured. And so I would look under the elements of self-insured. Um, I can't tell you to not register it, but if you're going to keep the MSO, you're going to have to register it. There's no way to give up the MSO that I know of, have a form of registration But you may want to go down to the DMV and say, look, this is my title. Why do I need to give up the title to you to pay you to register it, and see what they can do in offering a different solution? I think those are the next level conversations that we need to start having. I know that they're probably not going to have anything in an answer for you at the lower level. But I'm thinking they have to make available something to allow somebody to hang on to their own title. It's a title. It's the manufacturer's proof of you're owning that car. And so there is no better title than that. What they issue is a certificate of title. It's not title. It's a certificate of title. So, in understanding that, it's like, why am I having to give up my title to register the vehicle? So I'm sure there may even be some statutes in some states that would allow for you to maintain the MSO and yet hold registration tags without giving up jurisdiction over the vehicle, like a lot of other people are doing with the MSO. Otherwise, you're going to drive that truck or car without tags, without anything on it. And there's a lot of people doing a lot of different things. Some people are doing Department of Transportation numbers. Some people are doing private license plates. Don't get one of those civil peace flag plates. For the record, there is no civil peace flag anywhere in any law. So anytime you see one of those civil peace flags that are flying down with the white background, it's one of those foolish things that were introduced to us that does not exist, that makes us look like fools because we don't investigate the law. Just like the words American national or state national, you sound like a fool when you're saying that. You are that, because that does not exist in law. And when you say I'm a national, you are for sure a fool, because you're one that holds allegiance to a state. And that word state is only the territories of the United States. It's not the 50 several states of the Union. I made the same mistake myself. I get it. I'm just saying we need to be wiser than being dumb sometimes. So I don't know what to tell you exactly what to do, Justin. I know what I'm doing on a couple cars and what I'm doing on a couple of other things. And um, I like to register my stuff out of state. That way, jurisdictionally, nobody can pull anything from this state or put it up into a tow yard because they don't have jurisdiction over it. So I will register stuff in South Dakota, put South Dakota plates on it if need be. But I do have one vehicle, or one motorcycle, not a vehicle, because it's not registered, and it's not a motor vehicle if it's not registered. Uh, I have the MSO on, and I don't think I'm ever going to get it, meaning the registration, because it's free. And they don't have jurisdiction to impound it. They don't have jurisdiction to pull it over. They don't know any better, so they're going to pull it over. I'm going to show them a copy of it, the duplicate. I'll show them insurance on it. I'll show them my class 4 license on it, and move on, or class 3 or whatever it is for the motorcycle, and I'll move on. All properly contracted. So that's the only way that I can help you out without giving you a whole lot of help, in all honesty. When we become state citizen, we are automatically sovereign citizens. Nope. So Eva, that's kind of a naive question. You sound like you may be new into this, and I get it. The federal government is unfortunately classifying people that really don't understand the law about being a state citizen, and they're trying different things. And unfortunately, they'll drive around cars without tags on them, or expired tags, or they'll have a license in their wallet and it's expired, or they'll have a suspended license, or the point being, they have created two words that mean nothing in law anywhere. Like, you can't find a definition anywhere for the word sovereign citizen, but they've trained every law enforcement officer that it exists, and that there's people out there that believe they don't have to listen to federal authority, or whatever. And the reality is, if they were properly registered or have an account as a state citizen and done their paperwork, the federal government wouldn't have any authority over them. There might be a perceived authority, but it would be quickly diminished upon delivery of paperwork to whatever individuals trying to exert themselves. Bottom line, do they know? Are they going to press forward? Whatever. But bottom line is those police officers that are trained in that think that um, exists, that sovereign citizen exists, and that they are just somebody trying to get out of obeying the law. And it's kind of a truthful statement, you know. A state citizen is just somebody who wants to be out of the jurisdiction of the United States, recognizes the law of God and the common law. And the common law of man, and to respect one another. You know, I wouldn't be driving down the road at 90 miles an hour. I wouldn't be, doing things that are outside of the scope of what man's law would require me to do anyway. Um, so I don't want to get pulled over or harassed or have any issues. And I think a lot of times when you drive 80 miles an hour, you're going to get yourself in an accident or in some kind of issue. And they have thought some of this stuff through. Not all of it. Not all of it's cool. Not all of it's fair. Not all of it's real. Meaning what the DMV has created from a statute standpoint. But the reality is the code of the DMV sometimes helps people. I know I don't want to be on the streets with a drunk driver. I know it's a purely profit game for them, but it's a truthful statement. Somebody that's impaired in their driving, I don't want to be driving on the streets with. And those are things that we didn't have 200 years ago. So those are things that are kind of important to think about today. Now, is it, and we're getting off the topic here, but those words, sovereign citizen, you don't ever want to admit to being a sovereign citizen. Ever. That is not you. If you were a state citizen, I would ask, what are you talking about? What is that? I'm a citizen of the greatest nation on earth, the United States of America. That's how I'd respond. I would never claim sovereignty or a sovereign citizen. I cannot walk on water. I do know that the sovereignty of the king passes to the state, which means the state citizen. In law, go look at the definition of state. So, do I claim sovereignty? No. No. I just got hurt. I got a scratch on the back of my leg. I obviously can't walk on water. I am definitely not God. I do create some things sometimes, but I respect my father enough to think that the sovereignty of him, and I was created in his image and he does live within me. So there's an element of sovereignty, yes, but do I make these claims? And no, not necessarily. So I'm just very careful with the words that I use, especially when dealing with law enforcement. I do not want to admit to being something that I don't know what they're talking about. And that's why they ask you when you're coming over the border, are you a U.S. citizen? Are you a U.S. citizen? That's why they check you 100 miles in the border. Are you a U.S. citizen? It's like I would just ask the question back, are you a U.S. citizen? Am I free to go? Because pull over to the secretary. No, thank you. I watch these guys and these Gestapo style stops and what they're trying to do to cause issues for people. Do I want to participate in making their life harder? No, but I do not want to allow for them to continue this operation of treating people the way that they do. And so I do want to educate law enforcement. And there has been times where I've been on the side of the road educating law enforcement. But I speak to them in a tone and fashion that's very respectable. Sometimes they just clobber you with disrespect, clobber you with F-bombs, clobber you with, whatever, and calling you a sovereign citizen. I have to be very respectful and be very kind to them no matter what, because I want to get out of there. And if I want to sue that guy later, I will. But I want to get out of there right then and there. And I do not want to be detained, and I do not want to go through all that stuff. And then these are very real things, those words sovereign citizen are not good. It's not something you want to ever make a claim to, and just be very careful of that. So second part of your question is, what if we become a state citizen yet and want to take profits from crypto tax free with Caleb and Brown? And only because it's not going through you, it's going through a private foundation. Yes. The answer is we can help you on all that stuff. Replace with what? I don't know what you're asking. Re-ask the question again for us. I'm 10 questions down the road. I need to know what you're thinking. Can a U.S. naturalized citizen participate in the living in the private program? We've helped hundreds, 400 or 500 naturalized citizens become state citizens. Okay, I'm looking for questions here, not statements. Corrected question. When we become state citizens, we are automatically sovereign citizens. No. What if we have not become state citizens yet and want to take profits from crypto? Okay, that's all structure. See, having a foundation and that structure to be able to be private on the commerce side, we can help you. We can help you with the relationship. You're going to want to use our guys that are a lot different than going straight to Caleb and Brown. But you can for sure create a foundation through us and get the relationship set up and be able to do tax-free environment with your crypto without being a state citizen. Does it help to be a state citizen? Yeah, of course. Is it a requirement? No. So just for us, FYI, I answered your question pretty at length. What I'll do is I'll get you the video link to watch the answer later. I just saw your statement that you've been dropped from Zoom 10 times. I just don't want to restate the answer to your question when it's already been answered. I want to buy a new car from a dealer. How would I go about getting the MSO? So Cameron says he's going to walk into the dealer. I have cash. I'm going to provide for you a shipping label, a ladle. You're going to give me the car. We'll pick it up on a truck tomorrow afternoon. And because we're bringing it out of state, and they're going to say, sure. And do you have the MSO handy? Well, no. Well, yes. It's various. Sometimes they don't, but they can get them quick, like overnighted. But you can get that vehicle picked up, deliver the cash, pick up your MSO. They sign off on the top line of the MSO. It's then yours. You're holding true title to the vehicle. And you're going to drive it off the lot on the back of something. And then when you get it to your house, you can take it off and do whatever you want to it. Can one purchase a used car from a private or dealership directly into a foundation? Or do you use the name first and then donate it to the foundation? You can do either or. They both work. What about gold with the 401k? Is it secure? No, no. They're so strapped in what they're supposed to be holding in vaults. And when those banks are bankrupt, that cancels your contract, period. And there's going to be a massive onslaught of bankruptcies in the United States. So is your gold secure? No, you become a stockholder. Look at your contract and they get your gold because they don't have any to give it to you anyway. So that's how they steal. Buy gold. I got guys you can buy gold from. As a matter of fact, I can't wait for crypto to flip for the bull run because there's a lot of places selling gold for crypto now. So think about it. But no, never let somebody hold your gold for you. Said respectfully. When buying okay, hold on, press record. When buying a brand new vehicle, does the state make it unlawful or illegal for the buyer to get the manufacturer's documents? Nope. What do you think about starting a business that discharges mortgages for fraud according to the Fed document, Modern Money Mechanics? Good luck. There's a lot of people that talk about discharge instruments. Every time I ask somebody to show me the deeds, the documents, the deeds, I'll give them $1,000, show me the whole trail just to prove it. I haven't seen anything recently proving it. I've seen a couple dozen titles, car titles, home titles, conveyances, basically for a home title. Um, but I think it's that thought was something that I had 15 years ago when I first became free or was trying to become free. Um, I wanted to be in the discharge game and be a bank and help people, and it's not real like people convey that it is. So if you find somebody that's done it and they want $1,000 right now, I'm willing publicly, I'll pay them $1,000 to show me the paperwork, show me the conveyance, let me look at title, let me see that the transaction's been completed and sold again, and look at the title. I'm not talking about the county recorded title, the title policy, and I'll give them $1,000. A lot of vehicle questions. Are you able to register a vehicle in a different state? Wouldn't you have to have a local address to register, or is it another way around it? Yeah, Zinni, we have local addresses in multiple different states, stores that will give you an opportunity to have a mailing address in like South Dakota. So you can, reach out to us. We'll give you the guy's information, give him a call and set it up, and then you can have a car or vehicle registered over there. And it's nice. It's a lot cheaper in California, I'll tell you that. A whole lot cheaper. See, is that it? Wait, so your company has its own type of Caleb and Brown for crypto take profits. I don't have my own type of Caleb and Brown. I have an application process specifically for my members with Caleb and Brown and a representative that knows what to ask for and do on them. Also, how do we enjoy our profits like trips or luxury items, even though it's from profits under the foundation? Why would a foundation not be able to buy a luxury item or a home or a car or a trip? Why would a foundation not be able to do that? God owns everything on this earth, period. Um, would we just list ourselves as employees of the foundation and then from there pay ourselves? Okay, so and I say this respectfully, you are so programmed to think that you have to do anything with yourself. Like I have not received a check in 15 years. I will not use my name that I technically am beneficial interest on for a personal account to cash checks. I just don't. Foundation owns everything. Read Revelations 5. Who purchased the title deed to this earth? It was Yeshua. It was the blood that paid for the earth and everything on it, not just the people. And that's a common misconception. So what we're doing is procuring the earth one little section at a time. Obviously, he's coming. But when you're operating inside of those, and this is as a licensed real estate broker, when you're operating where you are giving everything, and like the deeds today are different than the deeds from 60 years ago. The title on a vehicle is different today than it was 60 years ago. Everything is being done with deceit, and we have to be smarter than them, especially being that we can still have it the old way and still be the true owner. And so you don't want to be paying yourself anything. You want everything to run under the foundation. The foundation owns everything and pays for all of the bills that are due from the foundation, period. Foundation owns the house and can pay the mortgage. Foundation owns the cars and can pay the car payments. Or you can, even though you can't transfer title on a car where you have a note or an existing payment, you can transfer all future rights and title to that vehicle in a simple paperwork document you put into the foundation and make the foundation make the payments. Foundation can pay the insurance payments. Foundation can you can use the debit card when you're out getting a meal. It doesn't matter. Listen to me. The IRS does not look at what the foundation does. It does not have a requirement to file a return with the IRS. There's nobody that's going to be looking at your books and saying, shame on you. Okay. The reality is the NFL is a nonprofit organization. Okay. Bill Clinton, nonprofit. Hillary Clinton, nonprofit. Um, the Bill Gates nonprofit. All these guys have taken all their money and all their wealth and put them in all these private foundations that are really 501c3s. The difference of them and us, we're smarter. We're not registering it. We're not giving any jurisdiction over it, and we don't have to file a return for it. Period. So don't think of yourself as employees, just pay everything through the foundation. All right. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to my VIP call tonight. But I'm going to send off an email to you guys, and it's going to be a survey of what are the best day for a VIP call with the VIP members, because it's not handling. I don't like Monday nights after these. John, I'm going to make your mic open. Do you have to unmute yourself on your end if you want to talk? I see your hand raised. No? Okay. Eva, I see your hand raised. I'm going to let you talk. You're going to have to unmute yourself. Go ahead.
Hi. Oh my goodness. I'm so grateful for you. I'm sending you so much love, success, and just
Thank you.
abundance. I'm extremely grateful for you.
Thank
My clarifying question was just at this bottom here. Basically, I just wanted to understand because you said our foundation can't be touched because there's no jurisdiction or
you.
processing agent that can touch it. And I just wanted to clarify, is that so? Because we would have put the foundation inside of like a trust or like a foreign trust because you also said we're not registering it even though it operates like a 501c3.
Okay, I didn't say it operates like a 501c3. What I said was it's like a 501c3, meaning 501c3 files returns, has obligations, accounting records and stuff. There's different levels of 501c3. There's a private foundation 501c3. There's a public foundation 501c3. There's church 501c3s. Um, but that has nothing to do with a private, unregistered, unincorporated foundation. So to answer your question specifically, um, after thousands of these and 15 plus years for me, I've never seen one pulled into an audit, pulled into court, or have any issues. Now, does that mean somebody isn't going to file a lawsuit and try to name something that it has no understanding over? So the question is how does it get served? And where did subject matter jurisdiction come from for that foundation? They're going to always go to the registered agent of service. They're going to say, where did you serve? Who did you serve? How did you serve? They're going to realize there is no registered service of agent. They're going to realize it's private. It's not public. They don't even know who owns it. They don't even know who controls it. They don't know anything. So they can't name something that they don't know really who's a party to. And I had this debate with an attorney on the phone and I stumped him and he agreed. But the bottom line is, um, it's really not something we think about or worry about. The foundation has no requirement to file a return with the IRS. That's even under their own code. And no, I wouldn't put it into another private trust. There's no need. It's private unto itself. I wouldn't put it under an LLC, and I wouldn't, you know, if it were me, I'd walk away from anything registered and just completely operate and use the unregistered foundation or the next level down, unregistered trust from a
Mm.
security standpoint.
Okay. Yeah, because I found a CPA and it was like a recommendation. And I just started, speaking our language. And he was like, honestly, Eva, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I'm willing to learn. But my thing is that, it's the bull run, happening 2025. Of course, I'm a crypto investor, and I'm like, I don't know if I can afford to have to teach my CPA how to be my CPA with the intentions that I have to move as much as I can into the private. So I'll definitely be messaging the team because, again, I really just want to make sure that, as you said, the 15 years of experience you have is just kind of, you can just, do it without even thinking. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So Eva, you're gonna get a foundation. You're gonna take your existing crypto assets. You're gonna donate them to the foundation. You're gonna give yourself a donation receipt and take the deduction on your private taxes, personal taxes with the CPA. You're then gonna take those crypto assets and put them on a hard wallet, hopefully purchased by the foundation.
Mm,
And then you're going to open up a crypto trading account at Caleb and Brown. And then when you're ready, you'll have a bank account, a crypto trading account, and a hard wallet that was purchased by the foundation that was donated. The crypto was donated to the foundation. All the paper trail matches up, and you're above reproach. It's now private.
got you. Okay, so even though I currently do have a cold wallet, I would just donate the cold wallet to the foundation. And from the day I do that onwards, whenever I want to stack up on more of my bags in crypto, I have to do it under, I guess, like the bank account that the foundation
So,
would use to pay for
correct,
crypto on Uphold.
correct. So I would buy all future cryptos and trade all future cryptos through an account or an exchange that's set up with your foundation. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
O- Okay, thank you. That gives me a better blueprint so that when I
We have a
have
lot of guys doing this. A lot of people. This is not illegal, immoral. This is called structure.
Mhm.
Everybody just needs to stop giving their money away. Period.
Yeah, period. I love it. Thank you. Love you so much.
You got it. Hey, you too. Thank you, Eva. All right, I'm gonna see if there's any more questions under the Q&A. Here we go. Okay, hold on. I've been buying a little XRP, but it's under my name. How do I do this under the foundation? I just explained it all, Rick. I hope you got that. Um, Donate it, put it on a hard wallet that you purchase with the foundation. And one of the things, guys, when you're purchasing a hard wallet, buy two of the same ones. Because if you lose one and you lose the 20 words, or if you lose one wallet and you have your 20 words, you can immediately go to your safe, grab the second wallet and restore with the 20 words. And you're not waiting 2 or 3 days to get another wallet. So always buy two. But try to buy it, Rick, with the foundation. Try to buy your future crypto through a foundation bank account. Try to exchange your crypto on a foundation exchange through like Caleb and Brown with our resources. It's not that hard at all. Can I ask my employer to pay my salary to the foundation? Yeah, Godwin, a lot of people would love to not have employment tax and have the ability to pay your employment stuff direct to the foundation. The difficult thing is, um, you can do, if it were me, I'd take 12,000 a year because there's no return necessary to be filed. I'd still have the insurance coverage, which I don't need insurance or like insurance, but we have private insurance for people where real insurance, no social, you can use the tax ID number and have a great insurance policy if you want on the private side. But yes, most employers would be amenable. It's always it's the tightwad in you know, what's that department called that handles all the employment stuff? I'm blanking right now, but sometimes it can be explained. Sometimes I've gotten on the phone with employers before for friends and people that are living in the private. I explain it to them. I say, do it this way, structure it this way. Don't take any taxes out. Use the WABEN. You're fine. And they're like, okay. Sometimes no. Very rare, but sometimes no. And they just want to keep deducting taxes and paying things, and sometimes they won't, But over here in California, millions of people do not have a social and did a W-8 BEN. They don't have taxes taken out of their checks. 2 cents. Think about that for a sec. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, Micah, just really quickly. Yeah, just sign non a subset on the DL renewal. Let me look over here in the comments, just make sure I'm not skipping over people. I know sometimes people will ask stuff. Oh my God, it's got a lot of comments. Holy smokes, it's too many to answer right now. Well, one of the things, Christopher, like over on the YouTube side, said I'm considering opening a life insurance policy after learning I can essentially borrow against myself. I wouldn't. All that stuff is great for taxpayers that are concerned about that. I get it. It's probably very lucrative for somebody that's worried about taxes. I'm not. I would do this all over. Many of this stuff does work in England. Yeah, much of this does. You're not going to be a state citizen, but you can still do a lot of the commercial side stuff of what we do. How long does it take for the whole process going in the private? If you're trucking, really trucking, and the DOS is really trucking, 4 to 6 months. Average is about 9. How can we be assured if one signs up for the LPP, we get the full performance with what you say? My wife has major reservations. Great question. We've been doing it as his advocates for 12 years, on our 13th or 14th year. No complaints. You'd figure after doing 30 plus documents for each individual for that long a time, you'd have some issues, and we don't. I don't know what to say to you. We're on Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, Apple TV, Samsung TV, LG TV, 53,000 subscribers here on YouTube, and tens of thousands on our own website. And we don't have any issues with people complaining. Go figure. Love to help you out. And there are people that this is why we open up this call to existing LPP members and new ones, because we got nothing to hide. Everybody's got questions, man. And it's the departments, it's like law enforcement, they don't know, so we have to be careful with these guys. It's the people that handle the accounting and employment for companies. They don't know. So we have to, spoon feed them and help them along and train them up. We just don't say, this is what it is. I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm not a sovereign citizen. But there only is one assurance in life, though, to answer your question, and that's direct from our Father. That's it. Can you keep a commercial license? You can. There's certain things that I would do to contract that commercial license. What does it cost to be a state citizen? Next to nothing, unless you want to go through our full package. There's a whole lot of different options. We help anybody. You can here, I'll put our phone numbers in. 844-447-2386, extension 706. That's going to everybody there. We help everybody, whatever. I know some people can't afford certain things, some people can, but we're here to help people. And there's some people that think they understand this and they can do this on their own, and we go for it. There's a lot of gurus out there that are misleading people, and I don't know why that is. And they're flat out lying to people. Flat out. Just be very careful. Hello, Kelby, friends. I've followed you since 2012. You are one of the best. Thanks, man. Jesus did not say any word to us about a metaphor. I don't know what you mean, Lacko. Tell me what you mean by that. Do you use a allodial title for your home? Okay, so when you're recording a document into your property at the house or at the house level, you want to do it in fee simple. Go look at what that word is versus joint tenant, tenant in common, the other titles that they use. But it's not just like that. Here, let me do this on the recording. Do you record your house in a allodial title? So the answer is nobody understands a deed today. And I've answered this a lot, but it's going to take me probably 10, 15 more recorded times to do this just to get the point across. Go look at a deed 50 years ago and a deed today. You were buying land. Today you're buying a legal description. It's federal territory. That's what a legal description is. Then you were using gold. Today you're using a Federal Reserve note. Then, you were putting it into a private trust or a lowercase name. Now it's an all caps name or an LLC. Then you were on both sides, from a vesting standpoint, you were fee simple, which is absolute allodial. Today you're joint tenant in common. Then you accepted your deed. Today you don't even do a deed acceptance. We fail for a lack of knowledge, guys. And as a licensed real estate broker, in understanding deeds probably better than most real estate attorneys. I'm going to tell you right now, we are getting deeds recorded with the old style recording new. And it's pretty interesting what happens. But in the foundation name, meets and bounds, fee simple, buy gold, buy hand, doing it properly, old school. And those are little tidbits that a lot of people could really go a long way with. I hope that helps. My crypto bro and Christian friends are very interested. Send them our way, man. I'm soon to join the group. Do you have an affiliate program? We do. We do have an affiliate program link. The free call phone can create a flawed mask. Yes, it can. I know. That's a good point, Superman. What is the difference between non-assumptive and without prejudice? Non-assumptive means he did not undertake without prejudice as a reservation, really. One is a statement of a contract position. One is you're not prejudicing yourself. I mean, they're really close, but I do non-assumptive, all rights reserved without prejudice. And I have a stamp that's super small that says that. So when I'm doing a contract, I just hit the stamp under my signature. All right, guys. Obviously, I'm not going to get to a VIP call tonight, but I'm going to send out some information. Poll. Do me a favor, answer the poll. Help me out with understanding what the best date and times for us to do the VIP stuff together. But thank you. God bless. Have a great evening, and we'll see you